Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lendingkart Leadership Podcast.
In this series, you get to hear our esteemed leaders answer some very serious and some not so serious questions.
Tune in for some candid conversations. We hope that you had a great festive celebration, took loads of rest, and are now back fully energized. Today on our podcast, we have with us the Chief of Collections at Lendingkart, Dillip Rout.
Hi, Dillip. Welcome to the Lendingkart Leadership Podcast.
Hello, Kenny. Good morning, and wish you and your family, your friends, a happy Diwali and a happy New Year. I'm sure, like every one of us, enjoyed, and I'm sure you must have enjoyed. And now, with the full zeal, we'll discuss today.
Yes, thank you so much. We're actually back with after a very, very long gap, so fully energized now. So, Dillip, I would like to take this as another opportunity to formally welcome you to the Lending Card Tribe, as we call it. And before we begin, I think it's very natural to want to start by knowing more about you. We learned that you have more than 24 years of experience in fintech, NBFC, banking, and insurance. So please tell us something about your experience and what brings you here at Lending Card.
Sure, Kenny, thanks for asking that question. And just to begin with that, Kenny, I completed my graduation there at 99 when everybody in the world was fighting for Y2K bug and other things. I was, looking out for a career outside at that period of time. So the thought was there, okay, what to do, what not to do.
Right.
Initially I started with the advertising industry for 1-2 years, followed by insurance industry. But in 2003, I joined my initial company, ICICI Bank, in the collection department for a couple of years, for around 3 years, followed by with some NBFC like Tata Motors, GE Capital, and there I was heading some state in the collection part.
Right.
Then further in 2007, I joined Axis Bank as zonal role in the mid-management role. And there at Axis, I was almost there around 9 years. In that 9 years, we have handled almost around all retail loans. Then, I moved on to Lendingkart in 2016. So in this total 24 years of expertise, the loans that has been handled by me at different organizations, including my own Lendingkart here. I started with car loan, home loan, loan against property, personal loan, loan against shares, business loan, two-wheeler loan, agricultural loan, tractor loan, commercial vehicle loan, construction equipment loan, loan against shares, loan against FD, credit card, SME loan, and currently in my organization, Lendingkart, we are handling MSME loans, which is a business loan, right?
Right.
So these are all retail loans that has been handled by me in last almost 20 years in collections and 24 years in the entire professional field, right? So this is all about me, what I have handled as far as in the collection journey in and entire my 24 years of expertise.
Right.
The question what you raised, what brings me here at Lendingkart? That is really a good question for you. But again, please understand, the Lendingkart is the pioneer of digital lending platform today, right? When it was in 2016, I was working with Axis. At that point of time, I thought digital lending space or digital, or you can say the fintech world was almost just booming at that time, and I was just understanding what can be better. So at that period of time, I understood Lendingkart is one of those pioneer or thought which was there in the mind of the leadership then was to take this organization to the next level. Right. And as I told, Lendingkart is the digital lending platform space is the leader today. So that is the reason why that thought came in my mind. So that and I took a decision to join Lendingkart to carry on the collection part long back in 2016. And as you know, while working with Lendingkart for 4.5 years, and I took a break with the other organization, but again, last 10 months, I'm again back with Lendingkart, and this is my second stint at Lendingkart, Kenny.
Yeah. So was this decision of your second stint at Lendingkart, was it an easy one to take? When you decided to come back to the organization, like leave it and then come back. So how did things change for you?
Interesting question. So it's like each one of us remember our first love, right?
Right.
Though Lendingkart was not my first organization or first love, but again, as you know, as I started saying, it was almost in the initial stage, right? A cute baby which you got nurtured in a hand, and today we see a handsome, dynamic, and an energetic Lendingkart in all of us, right?
Right.
So when I was there in the first time to have developed everything. And that is the reason why I thought, why not to take the second innings here, a second thing here at Lendingkart. And that was not that difficult to, take any decisions to join back. Because, I was knowing the senior management, I was knowing the team members with whom I am going to work in collection or the entire organization. I was knowing the process, I was knowing the policies, because most of the process policies was developed by we all initial leadership, which was there a part of Lendingkart, right? So I think that was not a difficult point to take any decision to come back to Lendingkart for the second string. And as you say, once a Lendingkart, always a Lendingkart.
Oh, that's a very good thing to say. Once a Lendingkart, always a Lendingkart.
Right.
So this is the present, right? I'll slightly go back to the past. You said that you started in advertising. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you moved to insurance, and then you moved to collection. So
right.
Why did you pick? I mean, I want to actually understand the journey from advertising, which is like highly creative and field. You moved to insurance, which is the opposite of it, right? And then
Right.
from insurance to collection. So would you just detail that bit for us?
Sure, Kenny. So initially, 2-3 years, I was there in the advertising industry. In that time, I understood the space financial segment or financial sector is going to get a boom there, right? Because at that period of time, it was loan segment which was going to grow, because it was the financial sector was opened up by then PM. And that was the reason why I thought of going to the financial industry. But initially, I could only make it to the insurance sector because for whatever reason, maybe. But again, when I was there with the insurance sector for initially 1.5 years, there I got exposure to not only insurance but also the financial segment. And then in 2003, I joined ICICI Bank in that finance, followed by the collection department.
Right.
It was not that easy to take a decision from coming from advertisement to insurance to finance sector, maybe in collections.
Right.
But again, it was a very, very calculative and strategical move that has been done, because while working in advertising industry followed by insurance, I could get that exposure to the finance companies or banks. And then I thought of this will be the space for me to take it forward from them. And that's the reason why I took, went ahead in finance or collections from 2003 onwards, Kenny.
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. So, there is a certain understanding about collection as a process and function, right? It is a very serious role. So, in this sense, what is the mantra for success, in terms of striking a balance between being customer first as well as keeping the company's interests in line?
So, Kenny, in last 20 years, what I've learned is collection is a specialist job. It is not a job for the commoners. It is very, very clear in that, right? And that requires highest level of discipline.
Right.
And we have to follow the work ethics with 100% genuinity. And the code of conduct that has been, laid down by the regulator, that has to be followed in 100% convictions. And the later processes that is developed by the organization, every member, be it the collectors, the ground level, all me who is heading the department here, we have to follow the processes, policies, which is being laid down. So that is the key mantra is very, very clear. We have to have the processes, policies to be followed with 100% conviction and genuinity. So that is first. Second point is, as I always say and believe in the basics of collection processes. So every collection member must do the groundwork, followed by the homework about the individual customer, the loan that has been obtained by that customer, right? So that he can understand the customer thought process and customer profile before going to the customer, understand the geography where the loan was disbursed or my customer is staying at, and then the person who is posted at that location to serve my customer. So if he understands this before going to the customer, I think it is easy to understand the customer's behavior.
Right.
The profile or the skeleton of the customer will be there in front of you, right? And then you can help the customer to support him so that the customer support us back by giving his or the repaying his debt if he is in default. So
Right.
very, very clear cut thought is the process policies need to be followed up. You must understand the customer, the geography, and the team member who is following the customer. And the last point, we should understand one thing, right? Because we should understand one thing, the customer is there to be supported every time. If I support the customer will obviously support me back for my individual, my team's growth, and lastly, my organization growth, Kenny.
Yeah, well said, I think. Well said. Having said these hard skills and some soft skills that you mentioned are a definite must for a collection specialist. We're still reading, a lot of news about these extreme measures and aggressive tactics used for collections by some lenders, which brings us to an important question. What is the importance of empathy in collections, or what are the certain soft skills, a collection specialist must have?
Right. So yes, as I said, just the collection as a process is highly regulated, right? The regulator is always going to give you all the details, and you have to follow the collection processes in that framework of the regulator, right? With changing times, a lot more cautions and due diligence is required. Not only making the processes in a white paper, but again, every individual has to follow and ensure that also get followed up at the down level also. There is a very, very thin line between the right or wrong, or do's and don'ts, right? Because it is always there. It can be right, or this can be right, or this can be wrong. But this has to be followed up. This has not to be followed up. There is always a thin line. So everybody has to be very, very cautious, and the awareness and foresight is required to be not by me at the senior level, leadership level. It has to be the down level who is there at the field level to follow my customer, right? The recent incident is just a point of that in the new world.
Understood.
So, we have to understand one thing. In today's world, collection should not be the way it was being done maybe before 2000. So collection should be the thought of retention. So if I do collect, if I retain my customer with me, so that should be the new business mantra. So I have to retain my customer with me forever. So thus, professionals in collections has to have empathy, not for the customers, but for every individual who are connected in this department. We as an organization believe that we exist for the customer support, because if customer is not there, so we are not there. So that's the reason I always say that empathy plays a very vital role in collections operation, and we have to be very, very empathetic to our own customers. Kenny.
Yeah, I think well, I agree with you there. It's not just to customers, but to everybody involved in the process.
Right.
So with this, I'd like to ask you that what are the kind of qualities that you look for when you're looking to add people to your team, or when you're looking to, let's say, hire these collection specialists?
Okay, while hiring the collections professionals in my team, or in general, what I should understand or what I think from the collection member or the person, one person is he should be very, very genuine, understand the collection processes, right? He should understand what is collection mean. It is not that to following up the customer to collect the default amount, right?
Right.
The thought process should be, we should be there to help the customer to collect my debt. If I understood, if I know, if I can help my customer, he will obviously, because I'm in the business loan segment, right? Today, if I have a link with the customer, not only the default customer, I'm sure every individual has some or other link there in the market. So if X customer is doing some business, but due to some or other reason, his business is going down, and if that person who is following that customer, let him know and let him grow in that business, obviously the customer will repay his debt. So if I can support my customer, I'm obviously sure the customer will not pay me the money what he is supposed to pay, but that customer will be there with me forever. So that is the reason why I said today it is collection by retention. So that is the first point which I look into the individual. that would be there in his mind and soul. The other point is, as I said initially, collection is a very, very, a regulated thing, right? So the individual should understand the regulator's point, what has to be done, what has not to be done. As I said, there is always a thin line between do's and don'ts, or the regulator to be followed, to be not to follow. So the individual himself has to understand that and keep that in mind always, because that thin line, you never know when that will get crossed.
Correct.
Last point, which is there whenever which is there in my mind while selecting the guy, is that I should not take anything at personal level, right? At this industry or at any point of time, there will be some or other hit and moment which may come in, right? So if I take those at a personal level, that will give the pain. So that is the reason I always see if that point is not there with the individual, because I am doing this, I am working here, or I am with part of Lendingkart. It is me followed by my organization, and as I said, regulated entity, right? That point should be there in the mind of every individual. So these are the 3-4 qualities which I see, because collection at the end of it, everybody knows the job. But if you're there in the framework of those policy, processes, regulations, and the empathy towards the customer, I'm sure everybody will excel in that profession, Kenny.
So building teams, right? Now that you're here at Lendingkart and you have, so many years of experience building teams across so many functions of the previous companies, you also mentioned that you were the ones who sort of established certain norms at Lendingkart for collections too. I want to understand about your plans for building the collections function with an emphasis on technology, right? Eventually this is a fintech. So could you tell us about it? I mean, we'll be excited to know how collections and technology sort of merge.
Sure, Kenny. So, as you know, here at Lendingkart, we have different technical platform or technology platform from sourcing to closure of the loan.
Right.
And, we have together, we have credit, and for collection, we have Collect 10, right? Which is one of the technological platform which we follow, right? With the help of collection, Collect 10 platform will ensure the digital collection and physical collection works in one platform to be known as physical platform. Because at any point of time, the customer need to be followed up in physical form. So somebody has to go and meet him. While before that, the digital communication with the customer has to be on a regular basis, so that the customer knows about his EMI dates or the amount to be paid or the loan he has taken. So that's the reason both has to be done. So in technological platform, what I said, Collect 10, which is there. So we are building that. And this is done with the help of our collection operation team, my strategy team, my data analytics team, and finally the software engineers who are developing it together, this Collect 10 platform. So this will give the right attention of treatment to handle collection activity very, very efficiently, right? So we know what action to be done at what point of time. So by understanding that, what it means that we'll understand when the customer is good to see the SMS, or when is a good time to the customer to call him so that he can or she can take the call, or my customer will be okay if I visit him at that period of time. So this study can be done by my data analytics team, and that this Collect 10 platform can give. So apart from that, we have the settlement model. If a customer is there at stress, and if he needs some time or some haircut in the principal or interest, so there is this one settlement platform which is part of this Collect 10 platform. So that helps me to do that digitally, and finally the customer get the settlement later, and customer can do that payment to the link which you provide. And the last part is, in case any heavy default or maybe a chronic defaulter comes in, we have to go for the legal action against the customer, which is anyway required and authorized by the regulators also, right? For that, we have our own legal software, which is part of this Collect 10 platform, which we are anyway building now, right? So that I can initiate the legal actions against the customer, so that I can collect the amount, and we can understand what are the different stages. Because while initiating the legal, that get initiated from the maybe the dunning later till filing any legal actions, maybe section 138 for the check bounce, or maybe arbitrations, or any legal case. So there you need to have this entire information very, very correct. So for that reason, our legal model is also there, which is part of this collector platform also, Kenny. So digital lending without the digital platform called collection is not completed. So that's the reason we have our internal collector platform, which is anyway getting developed day by day, and that is going to help me a lot, Kenny, in future also.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting, honestly. I mean, it's man and machine coming together to sort of solve the problem of collections.
Right.
It's wonderful. Okay, I think we've asked you enough professional questions. Moving slightly away from Fin and more to technology, what are the views on the emerging trends in technology with respect to fintech, even with respect to collections, if you may? And how do you think they're disrupting the upcoming innovations?
Okay, Kenny, I do think about this question a lot, many times, but I'll restrict the answer to most of the collection part because last 20 years being there in collection, so I'll keep myself restricted to the collection part.
Yeah, sure,
today, we have WhatsApp bot, we have chat bot for communicating with the customer, right? Many times I feel, can there have some technical expert who can work to develop some platform or some software which can understand the customer behavior, check the senses of the customer or maybe the opinion or thought of the customer while we connected with the customer during the loan sourcing time, because obviously some or other people discuss with the customer while you source the loan with the customer, right? You discuss many points at that period of time.
Right.
So by understanding the customer behavior, thought processes, or maybe the senses, if the system can understand the default behavior, right, and we can understand or predict the customer, that will be really great in future. So this will be a revolution and additional tool to understand, underwrite the customer profile. And I personally want to term that tool as a risk default sensing tool, which not only help the organization while underwriting the case, but also in future will help the collection team to take it forward and understand which are the customer to be treated at what level.
So the entire collections process, it seems stressful. So how do you unwind? How do you take care of yourself and even your team?
Right, Kini. So as I said in between, nothing to be taken at the personal level.
Right.
Because here in collection, it is a stressful situation at all point of time. The reason is you are not only following the numbers to deliver, where you have to follow the customers, you have to understand the mindset of the customer, you have to support the customer, and you have to ensure the amount get collected. Then you have the regulator, where you have to ensure that no point the regulator points are diverted or deviated. Then you have the process policies. You have to ensure every time the process policies get followed up. So that is the reason why I said we must not take anything at personal level. Right. If you can, that's the stressful moment at any point of time which comes to you, I'm obviously sure like this will not help, not hurt you at the personal level, right? If something hard situation or some situation which is come to you, and if you can touch like a bounce ball, I'm obviously sure that the point will go away and you would not be there at the stressful situation. Secondly, we as a team regularly here at my organization, we regularly discuss, interact with each other about our well-being of our family to divert any stressful situation. Because as you know, any individual, he loves to speak about his family and the well-being of the family, right? Yeah. So while any stressful situation comes in any one of my team member, we try to divert that, discuss about our family things then and there. If you discuss 5 minutes, I'm obviously sure 1 hour stressful situation will go away, right? So that's the reason we generally discuss about the family, because as you all know, we are doing at the workplace is for the family only, right? Whatever you do here, we are doing for the family. So that's the reason once you discuss about the family, any stressful situation will go away, and obviously you can handle that situation. And finally, this discussion can only happen when you feel we're at one family. In a sense, like we here at Lendingkart, we feel we are one family, so we can share our thoughts with each other. Right. Not only to distress our situation, stress situation, but also to have that interaction and very closeness to each other. That's the reason we say we are one family, LK family.
That's your team, but you still haven't answered. How do you unwind if not at work? What do you do? Do you read? Do you listen to music? Do you go for walks? Tell me on a daily basis, how do you unwind? And if in a year, how do you unwind? How many vacations and all do you take with your family?
Okay, at a personal level, yes. While daytime we do discuss with the team, but while I go back to home, I obviously hear some of the music of Yasodas. As you know, is very very sweet and melodious tone by Yasodas. So my favorite singer is Yasodas, followed by the Golden Seagull like Kishore Kumar. So these are the two singers songs which I hear many times. And obviously, most of the time in the early morning before coming to office, to keep myself cool, I hear about the Hanuman Chalisa. That gives me the strength. That makes me fresh, so that I can start the work with almost strength. And yes, as far the holidays are concerned, like apart from the last 2-3 years because of the corona, I do take a leave for 10 days at one stage, go to the vacations locations like maybe Andamans, maybe Goa, maybe Kerala, all interior places where in a small, big location with the family. Because as you know, going holidays with the families and the group should be good, big enough so that we can unwind our stressful things. And the last point is, I'm from a school which is a military school, that is Sainik school, right, from Bhubaneswar. So every year we organize one old boys association and get together, which happens in the month of December. So those 4-5 days at the school level, because we always feel we should not miss out our school days. So those 4-5 days, I always make myself be there at the school and refresh ourselves, understand what you are doing in the school level and what my kids are doing. So compare with each other and discuss that with the friends. That gives the strength. Actually, if you go to your school, anyone goes to the school for one day, I'm sure they will get the strength for next 2-3 months. So that's the reason these are the 2-3 points in the annual level I do. And daily, as I said, yes, songs that makes you cool.
What are your favorite songs? What are the ones you listen to most often?
So, if you talk of, what you call Yashodas, the song which is there, Mana ho tum behad hasi. So this song is a very, very, lovely song, which I hear that along with my wife. And yes, sometimes I also, sing that. She loves to hear that. So this is the song many a times I play with my wife, Kenny.
Lovely, lovely. And a last question to you, and I think I'm not sure if this is an easy one for you, but if you were not the chief of collections, what other role would you choose for yourself and why?
It is not that difficult question at all, Kenny, because as I said, I am from a military school, Sainik school, Bhubaneswar. So from the standard 7th onward, I was into sports, adventures courses, or the camps and other things. So if not the collections, I would have been a professional mountaineer or trekker, because I had done my basics and advanced training from Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, Darjeeling, and followed by professional 2-3 expeditions with help of my training institute, HMI Darjeeling, and then I could have been a professional trekker mountaineer then. So it was not at all difficult question, Kenny. And why mountaineering courses? I love the nature, the flow of water, the ice, or the mountains. So that's the reason I have choose that profession, choose that courses then, and that gives me the coolness or the thought process. So I think without collections, if any point of time today also, when I think I am okay to go, I can go there, I can start and refresh that activities again. What the age will not matter then.
Right. So do you trek? Do you even trek now?
So, Kenny, at this time in the professional journey, you will not get the time, because you need at least 1 to 2 months time to get yourself acclimatized, followed by then doing that course.
Right.
Though the smaller courses are there, the adventure course, which is 7 to 10 days time.
Yeah.
But again, all those was done many times. So I required to have 2-3 months time so that I can go to an expedition as a professional to some peak, whose peak something will be around 24,000 feet, so that you get satisfaction doing that job. So I think today it will not be possible. But yes, when I hang on my boat for the professional field, obviously I will try that again to refresh myself.
Right. So I think this is my last question. If tomorrow you wake up as a mountain trekker, what is the first expedition you will take?
Kanchenjunga, Kini, because that was one expedition which was came to me in 2000, I think 1 or 2002, but it was because of some professional engagement which I could not attend that, and that was free, because in the sense free of cost, in the sense that was been sponsored by one of the German club, adventure club. So I think Kanchenjunga is the peak which I want to summit, and it is not that easy like Everest. It is difficult, though it is the height is lesser than Everest, but yes, it is a difficult one.
Wow. I do hope you go to Kanchenjunga, whenever life takes you. But I definitely hope this for you.
Sure, Kini. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Dillip. It was great talking to you. I absolutely had a blast.
Thank you, Kini, and all the best. Again, Happy New Year, Happy Diwali to you, your friends, and your family. And do well. All the best. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dillip.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit like and share. मिलते हैं अगली बार with some real insights on leadership and the industry.